What's going on YouTube? Michael Harris here, back again with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about the niche store that I'm scaling up and a few tips that I am continuing to learn that I can pass on to you. So make sure you stay tuned.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. I just been living online.
Alright guys, so in today's video I want to talk to you about how I scale my niche store up to $10,000 a month so far, and it's only like the 6th of the month, something like that. I think it's like the 6th or 7th. Today is, February 6th, and I'm already at $10,000 a month. It's not the most profitable store yet, because I'm still working out a lot of kinks and a lot of different things that are going on here and there in terms of profit and conversion rates. But that's why I wanted to actually do this video today, was so that I can share some important pointers with you guys. So first of all, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because at 1,000 subscribers, I'm actually going to be giving away a completely done-for-you Shopify store, as well as my Google Shopping Blueprint that I use to scale stores and products to over $9,000 a day. The rules to enter that giveaway are to subscribe to the channel and then also be a member of the Google Kingpins chat group, which you can join for completely free. Even if you don't want to enter your chance to win the drawing, you can still join the group. The links are somewhere down below the bottom of this video, and it is, like I said, free to join, so you might want to check it out. There's a lot of value going on in there right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and break these down. The first tip I want to talk to you guys about kind of it's multiple tips mixed into one, but it's in general talking about the look of your store. So in today's day and age of e-commerce in 2020, we're in February of 2020, everybody knows that e-commerce is highly competitive. Everyone knows that we have to really convince people to buy from us. And if there's anything wrong with our store, people are just not going to buy from you because they can just go to the next store and get the same thing for the same price. So you really have to convince people that they actually want your product. And the ways to do that are to make your store look legitimate. So I want to give you a few pointers. This is the first pointer, but it has multiple pointers in it. And that is to have matching colors all the way through your Shopify store. So if you have bright, crazy, neon orange colors, and then on the next page it's purple, and then on the next page it's green, people don't want to see that kind of stuff because it doesn't look professional. You want to keep the same color consistently all the way through your store, from landing page all the way through the checkout, or even the home page all the way through to the checkout. And that's really important that you keep it consistent, because if you're not, then people get a bad feeling from that, and they don't think that you're taking the time to make your store look professional and appropriate and matching all the way through. So along those same lines, it's also really important to have trust icons. I put trust icons in the actual landing page or the product page that people are visiting from my Google Shopping ads. And if you guys are somehow finding this channel not from already being subscribed, and you want to learn how I advertise on Google, make sure you check out the other videos up or down somewhere around this video on how I go from 0 to over $9,000 a day using Google Shopping. I do a lot of value-packed videos on this channel, so you definitely want to check that out if for some reason you're finding this video without already knowing who I am or what I'm doing here. So like I was saying, with the trust icons, you really want to make sure that they look legitimate and that they're updated to 2020's standards. You don't want to be using really old, crappy looking trust icons, because people realize that companies are always updating their logos and their icons. So you want to make sure that everything is fresh and brand new, up to date for today's day and age and today's standard. The next thing is, I have completely cut out timers altogether. I don't use timers at all. I don't use them in the checkout. I don't use them on the landing page. I don't even put timers anywhere near my store. I think they're the most spammiest looking thing that could ever be put on any type of page. Sometimes in some marketing circumstances, lead generation and other types of internet marketing, timers are appropriate, but for today's e-commerce industry, I believe personally that timers are no longer a necessity, and honestly I believe that they actually scare people off because it just looks spammy. If I see a page where I'm trying to buy something and I see a timer, it doesn't make me want to buy it. It just makes me think okay, you guys are just messing with me. You're trying to get me to buy quicker. So by taking the timer away, it can actually be less pressure for your customers, and they can in turn buy more frequently from you, which increases your profit and obviously your conversion rate. Last thing along this first topic of the general look of your store is I also no longer use pop-ups. A lot of stores, guys, like I see so many Shopify stores that are using that stupid little spinny cartwheel thing on your store. People do not care about your email list. They do not care about your giveaway. They do not care about whatever the hell that cartwheel thing is where you click it and it spins. People don't care. It's 2020. They're not going to give out their email to you, and they're not going to join your mailing list for like absolutely no reason. And ultimately, when that pop-up appears on your landing page, it is killing your conversion rate, as people don't expect that stuff to pop up, and honestly it just pisses everyone off. Like, I get so a website and pop-ups keep popping up, like I just leave the website and I go somewhere else and I buy it somewhere else. So make sure you don't have pop-ups going. The other thing to add to that really quick is I use a service called Hotjar, and I tested this for a really long time in an older store that I was using. I tested it for a really long time using Hotjar, and if you don't know what Hotjar is, really quick, it basically records the screen of your users. So on mobile or desktop, it will blur out the numbers that your users enter. So like if they enter credit card information or name, stuff like that, as a security feature, it blocks that out, but otherwise it shows the action that they're taking on your store or on your page. And you can use this on anything, ClickFunnels, Shopify, like whatever you use. But people who visited pages that had pop-ups pop up, they just leave. They don't enter in any information, they just exit out of the tab. And I saw this repeatedly over and over and over and over again. Like I was spending $3,000 a day on advertising, and I saw this repeatedly, continuously, and it proves the fact that nobody cares about your little cartwheelio thing or your newsletter that you're offering 5% off of. It's just killing your conversion rate. So just get rid of pop-ups. If people want to enter your newsletter, then they'll find how to do that and they'll put their email in, because they might want to find your products later on. But ultimately, it's killing your conversion rate. Like, I can't stress this enough, guys. I see so many garbage looking stores, and then people wonder and they ask me why my store isn't getting sales, because it looks terrible and nobody would ever buy from it. So you guys really need to get your head in the game in terms of like the look of your store and the feel that it gives your customers and your visitors. Like, if it doesn't look good, people aren't going to buy, and it's that simple. Like, it has to look good. If you aren't going to buy from your store, then nobody else is going to buy from it either. So that's really, really important. That was kind of a long topic, but I wanted to get that out there and like let you guys know that the old way of like having a really spammy looking store with like a bunch of stuff, it doesn't work anymore. Again, we are in 2020. Consumers are smart. They know exactly how to get good deals. They know what's a good deal, and they know what stores don't look good, and they know like what to expect from different types of stores. So that being said, I'd like to go into this second pointer I want to give you guys, and that is to make sure you test your checkout flow. So I'm currently using the Turbo theme from Out of the Sandbox. I really highly recommend you guys use that. If you're like totally brand new beginner, then don't bother. You can get by without a custom theme. But if you're looking for a custom theme that's really good, high quality, I would recommend going to Out of the Sandbox and getting the Turbo theme. And the reason why I like this theme, one, is it's extremely fast, but two, it has many, many different ways that your customers can enter the checkout. And so what I've been doing ever since I started this niche store is I've been testing what works best with this theme. At least it may not be the same for every theme, so like I really highly recommend you test it for yourself. But right now, what's working best for me is people click the add to cart button, and then they automatically proceed to the cart page, and then they click checkout, and then they go to the actual checkout, and they're landing on the Shopify checkout. Little side note, here pretty soon I'm going to be using a third-party checkout. If you guys want me to do videos on one-page checkouts, comment below and let me know that you want to see that. But you really, really need to test your checkout flow, because that's an important, that's like the most important thing with your Shopify store. And if it's not converting, then you're not making money. So the Turbo theme from Out of the Sandbox has a mini cart feature. And if you don't know what a mini cart is, it's basically like a little tiny pop-up that pops up in the top right corner, and it is the cart. And from within the mini cart, you can then either change the settings to go to proceed to checkout or proceed to cart page. You can also then, instead of the mini cart, you can just have it, like I said earlier, where people automatically proceed to the cart page. or you can set it to where it skips the cart page automatically and goes straight to the first page of checkout. So that's like 4 different variations of ways that people can check out on your store. And it's really important that you test each one to see which one works the best, because it may not always make sense. It may not be like what you guys think it is, and which I'm going to get into that in just a second. Your users will tell you, and your customers will tell you what's working best, and you will see this immediately. It can be the difference between making profit or not making profit, and it can turn your store right around into like 20-30% profit margins without even doing anything besides changing the checkout flow. So when I very first got this theme, I personally thought that the mini cart would be a great way to increase the conversion rate. So I had it set to mini cart, and in the mini cart it was set to proceed to checkout, so it would just skip the actual cart page. In my mind, I thought, okay, that confirms the order price, it confirms the order quantity, and people will be ready to check out. I got like a 0.5 conversion rate for the first week of the store, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I finally went in and I dove in and I said, okay, looked at the analytics, everything is spot on like I would buy from the store, but something's not right. And so I then started to test the checkout flow, and I found that through trial and error of testing all 4 different combinations, that going from the product page to the cart page and then to the first page of checkout was converting the best. And it doesn't make sense to me because that's an extra step, but that's why you guys have to test this kind of stuff, is because even if it doesn't make sense, it may work better. So it's really, really important that you test your checkout flow. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is stop selling products, especially on Google Shopping. Stop selling products that have a low markup and a low price. That's really, really important in today's day and age. If you want to be successful with e-commerce, you have to find something that has a high markup. You cannot, I mean, I guess you can make money with like a $20 item, but it's almost impossible with the cost of advertising, especially if it has a really low markup. So if you're buying something for $12, $13 and you're only selling it for $20, you're not going to make very much money. And if you are making money, it's not going to be anything that's going to change your life. It's really important that you get up into higher ticket items. And higher ticket to me means anywhere from 40 to 100 or even more. There are people that have dropshipping stores that sell items for $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. It all just depends, but my niche averages anywhere from $80 to $200 per item. Like, it just depends on which item I'm selling. But in those, the most expensive costing product that I get from my supplier costs $30, and I sell that for $80. So there's $50 available profit there that you can really get. Like, it allows you to get a higher cost per conversion with your advertising and still make profit. And if you're a beginner, that's the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself, is not kill yourself on tight margins. Because if you're going back to the other example, selling a product for $20 that costs you $13, $14, $15, like, you're not going to get a $5 cost per conversion with Google Shopping as a beginner. So really important that you find products that have a high markup and a high margin, so that you can have wiggle room on your cost of advertising to still make profit. And so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, it goes along with the same idea as the markup. And the reason how I can get such high numbers is, like, I have a high priced item. And if you see anybody that's doing any large volume of sales, sure, it might be a cheaper product, but like, you want to find something with a higher price and a higher markup, because it's ultimately less work. You don't, if you're selling something for $5, $10, $20, that's a lot of volume to get over $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 a day. Like, you have to sell a lot of units. So the higher the price, aside from the profit margin and the markup, the higher the price, the higher your revenue is going to be, that much easier. So it sounds really simple and it sounds really dumb, but like, stop looking for products that are $5, $10, $20 and go into stuff that is higher priced. And to give you guys a few insights and pointers on why these last 2 things really matter, is because in my niche, I see people constantly trying to come in and they see my ads ranking on number 1 in Google Shopping, number 1, number 2, number 3. Like, those are usually consistently where my ads are showing. They try to come in and they cut my price down and they go way cheaper, and they're selling, like, my product is $80, but they're trying to sell it for like 40 or 50. And I know for a fact that they're getting the same exact cost of goods from me, so it's $30. and they're trying to sell it for 40 or 50, which means $10 to $20 of wiggle room. And I know for a fact that the cost per click is like at least 80 cents, if not $1, and they just can't compete. And when you have a higher available profit margin or higher markup, that allows you to bid higher and bid more aggressively and show up higher in Google. And a lot of people just don't, like, they think that they can come in and sell something for way cheaper. They don't think about that like if you have more profit available, then you can spend more on advertising and show up higher in the search results. So that's really, really, really important, especially if you're in a competitive niche, especially if you have a high cost per click, and especially if you are a beginner. That allows you to have a lot more room to work with your advertising. And so that leads me into the last topic. I kind of just touched base on it, but it's to bid really high in the beginning. And when you bid really high in the beginning of Google Shopping with your advertising, you obviously show up higher in the search results, which then in turn increases your conversion rate. And as long as your store looks good and you're showing up high, like first, second, third, fourth, fifth in Google Shopping results, then you will get sales. Like, it's inevitable, because people, in my opinion, people go to Google and they see stuff showing up at the very top and then just immediately think, okay, that's like a legitimate product because they're showing one on Google. Like, not many people realize that it's all like I'm paying to show up there. They just think that like, oh, Google thinks this is a good product, so, and they're recommending it to me, so I'm just gonna buy it. And it's that simple, guys. Like, if you're showing up number 1, number 2, number 3, people think you are an authority, and they realize that like, okay, like obviously this is a good product because they're on Google, and people just immediately buy. As long as your store looks good, like we talked about earlier in this video, people will buy from you, and like that just increases your conversion rate. If you're showing like 17, 18, 19, 20th place on Google Shopping, like you're still gonna get clicks and traffic, but it's like a lot lower quality traffic. You want to be as high as you can in Google Shopping results to make the most money that you possibly can and the most profit. And then after that, once you're in those areas, then it's just fine tuning the numbers of the bids and like quality score and all that kind of stuff. And so if you guys want to learn more about this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm committed this year to doing 3 videos per week talking about Google Shopping and e-commerce in general. I hope you guys found this video useful. Just a quick one today, talking about the top 5 tips that I have for you scaling up my niche store. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you join the free chat groups at the links below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.